The Blue Jackets today signed former first-round pick from the Buffalo Sabres, Russian forward Mikhail Grigorenko, to a one-year, $1.2 million deal. A contract where he could have ended up getting more if he stayed in the KHL, but he chose the contract of the Blue Jackets because he did want to make that return back to the NHL at some point in his career here. The 6'2", 213-pound center has been just a hair under a point per game for CSKA Moscow these past couple of seasons. 52 points in 55 games played, and then 41 points in 47 games played respectively there. So overall, this is for me a very low risk, almost zero risk when you look at the contract. 1 year getting pretty much nothing, a zero risk, high reward deal here for the Columbus Blue Jackets. The Blue Jackets, a team that clearly needed a little bit of center depth here. Hopefully he can be that guy that can help out and plug in there. But here's the question. I love the deal, love the signing, but what can we realistically expect out of Mikhail here for these Blue Jackets? Now, as we mentioned, he's been around a point per game for these last two seasons for CSKA Moscow. And CSKA Moscow, for those who do not really follow the KHL at all, is one of the two most dominant teams in the KHL, right beside St. Petersburg over the past how many years. Those two teams have just went out there and completely dominated the rest of the league. So take that as you will, but just to rattle off some guys, Evgeny Dadonov, Nikita Gusev, Kovalchuk, Radulov, all guys that made the jump from one of those two teams in the KHL here in the past few seasons. And all of them were right around a point per game in the KHL. And you've seen them come over, and from a point production standpoint, most of them around that, 40 to 70 points per season range there. And obviously, you don't want to play the card where you say, okay, well, let's just look at his points per game and determine if he's good or bad, right? I completely understand it, but we do have to realize at the same time, the KHL is a completely different league than the NHL, and until he comes back to the NHL and proves he can play and do this with the big boys, all we can really do is, try to project what his production's going to be and what it's going to translate to in the NHL. And even if it comes in at the lower end of the, 40, 45 point spectrum here, I'll take that. I'll take that every single day of the week for a $1.2 million contract. But hey, I feel like this guy, he came back to the NHL for a reason. He wants to make it big here. This is his chance. He signed a one-year contract and said, let me show you what I got. Let me show you how much better I've gotten. It's so important here. The guy's still 25, and it's easy to say, well, he came to the NHL and he busted the first couple years. Well, guess what? We've seen this with so many players time and time again where, 19, 20, 21, 22. It takes them some years. Not everybody comes into the league at 18 and is ready to go out there and be Connor McDavid or Sidney Crosby or somebody. Some guys, they take longer to develop. He went back to the KHL, and you've seen him grow, and you've seen him improve. So now he's coming back to the NHL, a completely different person. I don't think you can look at what he did over there in the NHL, Buffalo, Colorado, before he left. I think you have to give this man a chance to see what he can do for this Columbus Blue Jackets team, and I think he's going to be hungry. A hungry guy, one-year contract. We're going to get the best Grigorenko the NHL's seen so far. So I do think this guy does have more than that 40, 45 point production potential here for a team like the Blue Jackets that did struggle offensively last year. Nothing hurts here. Even if it is 40, 45 points, that's a substantial help to this offense, but I think he's got more in him. We'll see what he's got, though. Looking forward to Grigorenko next season.